With episode 7 over, it's the perfect time to recap it so you can be all caught up to speed, which I'm predicting to be extremely juicy for Valorant's story. This recap will cover everything from why Brim betrayed those he once felt close with, to the fact that ISO does manicures. I guess he's just a fabulous assassin in the streets and on the score sheets. Episode 7 started with Deadlock joining the team. I won't go in depth too much with this part. I covered most of it in Deadlock's lore video, which you can watch later if you haven't already. But TDLR, or I guess TDLW, Deadlock was grateful to have joined the team, but started beef with Gecko and Reyna because of his creatures. She kinda has PTSD from the Radivore biting her arm off and sending her comrades she saw as sisters to the afterlife. One thing I didn't really mention in that lore video though is the fact that Sova brought up the Interverse, and that Deadlock had some experience with it as well. The Interverse is brought up again later in this episode, which lets me know Riot has plans for this. Whenever a topic is brought up multiple times, it's the writer's way of foreshadowing future events. Kinda like how Norway and Radivores were brought up multiple times in episode 6, foreshadowing Deadlock's story. Maybe it has something to do with the new agent's codenamed Smoke Dancer, who was teased in episode 7's Battle Pass, and will eventually be revealed as Clove. And let's not forget that Team Deathmatch was added because of Maxbot. The interesting thing is that during episode 6, Omen was repeatedly warning Brim about Maxbot, something off about them.
Commander, I know this sounds unusual, but the modified cleaning bot stored in the lab, the one the others call Maxbot, has been acting strangely. I have witnessed it deviate from its usual pathing, activate on its own. It observes our training, our routines. In the middle of the night, I have watched it. Watch me. Whatever Raze and Killjoy did to the thing, I suggest they undo it. Brimstone, the Maxbot is missing. It has been gone since this morning. I have looked everywhere. No one is taking this seriously, but something is happening. I am not crazy, Brimstone. You must see it. Please.
And when Maxbot finally was able to trap some agents in TDM, this is all he had to say.
Brimstone, it's Omen. I told you so.
Which is pretty funny. Regardless, Deadlock continues the pressure against anything Radivore related, leading others to sympathize with her beliefs, like Viper. This led Brim to contact one of his old KSEC friends. KSEC, by the way, is like a private army / aggressive security unit for Kingdom. And Brim has close ties with the people that he used to work with in the past. Kind of like how Deadlock had close ties to Stahljaeger, her old company. Brim is basically asking for Kingdom to stop their Radivore experiments, which could have been similar to the ones done with the bear in Deadlock's trailer. Safe to say they didn't really take it nicely. Jett at this time also voices her displeasure with being teamed up with Cypher in his truck as part of their undercover mission.
Oh, Brim. I have no issue with being the cover-up chef for the surveillance truck. That Cypher is driving me crazy. That guy thinks every interaction is an opportunity for a life lesson. Look, I know for a fact you can flip a mean burger. With a little training, I think you could cover me for a couple days. Please.
I find it funny how the McDonald meme edits of agents are kinda canon for Jett now. I wonder if the community had any influence on this part of the story. Nonetheless, this led to the hard decision that Brimstone made when it came to shutting down Kingdom West Radivore experiments in LA. A decision that KJ knew wasn't an easy choice to make, offering basically a free vent session if Brim ever needed one. Plus one for KJ for being a W friend. Nonetheless, during this time, we found out that Kingdom West was probably working on or with another Radivore. And a rather big one at that too.
Yo, Wings. It kinda looks like you.
Also, Deadlock's hostility towards Gecko's creatures may have subsided during this mission as well. After this mission, Sunset was added as a new map and the crew got together for dinner.
Boss, come on now, the food's ready and the fam's all here. You know they're not going to wait for you and they're not going to save you a plate. The world won't die tonight. So put down those reports and move.
We also see that KO is trying his best not to get outdone by KJ and remind us how close of a friend he is with Brim. He reassures him that he protected Kingdom from itself, and it won't be the last time either. hinting that there will be more times the protocol will face off against Kingdom. Another thing that's really interesting from KO is that he mentioned a Radivore invasion. This is actually huge. For there to be a Radivore invasion, there will need to be multiple of them coming from somewhere, possibly outside of Alpha Earth. We know there's already a mirror Earth called Omega, but what if Radivores are actually creatures from a different planet or dimension? Maybe within the Interverse itself. Just something to keep an eye out on, I guess. But moving on, we get a voicemail about Jett finally being able to spread her wings and the protocol's wallet.
Yo, Brim! I got your message about the meal I expensed. Gecko and I might have gone a bit overboard, but guess what? I brought back an A5 Wagyu steak just for you. I'll even cook it tonight any way you want. So, can we just let this slide?
Next, we have these emails from Sova and KJ related to the disappearance from those leading the Radivore experiments in Kingdom West, which we now know is because of ISO being ordered to eliminate them. KJ also mentions an hourglass symbol, the same symbol related to ISO's company and Omen's memories. Jett also at this time voices her frustrations about having to keep low due to the actions of her Omega double in Italy and her own in Seoul.
Brim, Breach is on me about laying low again. I can't do this anymore. I don't care how many times Cypher needs to scrub my face off the web. I'm going out like everyone else. I know for a fact he can make it happen if you fund it. Look, I get why Omen and KO can't leave. I feel bad, I do. But they're unique cases. I'm young. I should be out there living my life. I just want to eat inside of a restaurant or enjoy a morning run without a stupid disguise. Why should I act like a criminal in hiding when I did nothing wrong? Seoul? Italy? None of that was my fault. If that little from Omega had just left me alone, if she gets to go out in her world, I'm going out in mine.
And for some more slice of life action, we have this voicemail from Cypher confirming that their card game is getting more participants and spectators too.
Brim, card game tonight. So far, it's the usual group, plus Astra and Sage. Oh, and apparently Omen wants to watch. Just go with it. If you're in, let me know.
He later on messages Brim about a hitman who's most likely Li Xiaoyu, aka ISO. We can say that at this point Cypher is the main reason why ISO joined the protocol, but it could be possible that ISO just wanted to be found out as well. Nonetheless, we can assume that Cypher knows about the hit on Omen from him, but still trusts Li Xiaoyu enough to let him join, and ISO is grateful for it. And as I mentioned in his lore video, Sage points out that he can travel to and create spaces in the Interverse, which lets us know that it is a place outside of both Alpha and Omega Earth. I'm telling you, the Interverse is going to have to play an important role in Valorant's future story in some form or way. Kinda like how whenever a new agent joins the protocol, everyone has their eyes on them. And these new agents can influence the story greatly. Kinda like how Deadlock did when she joined. And we can tell that Cypher sees ISO as a step that can lead us closer to Omen's identity. But not everyone is okay with this idea, especially Viper, who mentions how unstable Omen is and tries to make sure him and ISO aren't close together, which is kinda suspicious. Don't you want someone who you once called friend to get their memory back? Well, based on episode 8 trailer, it seems Viper is hiding something. But that's a story for a different video. Later on, ISO mentions how much the protocol is changing him.
Brimstone, it's ISO. I've been on the team for a while now and, well, my hands were stained from the violence. It kept me awake at night. But Valorant is different. I noticed the others spending time together. There's a brightness to them. When they speak of the mission, they speak with pride. So I wonder, is this what it means to fight for something good? Anyway, that's it.
Omen also mentions that a mission is needed to be launched against those who put a hit on him. At this point, it's safe to say that ISO has no intentions of killing Omen. If anything, we can say that ISO is a little bit of a fanboy towards Omen's past accomplishments. As we saw in the teasers leading to episode 8, Omen's going to be the focal point and his past is getting closer to being revealed. I do find it funny how Cypher was just standing there the whole time, just watching ISO point a gun at Omen while he's cutting Sage's bonsai tree. Maybe Cypher knew ISO wouldn't pull the trigger, or that normal bullets in ISO's deagle wouldn't instantly kill Omen. Nonetheless, I'm extremely excited for episode 8. We're getting closer and closer to figuring out who Omen actually is. I am kind of sad that ISO and Omen are probably two completely different people. I always knew the theories of them being once the same person was kind of a long shot, but it was still a fun theory that the community came up with. Some though have their guesses that maybe ISO is a relative of Omen, which isn't completely out of the question since they are very similar. But best believe we will cover episode 8. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and be a KDA warrior. And I'll see you later.